Hello and welcome to the Gone Traveling Podcast. We are looking at the 2025-26 BKT EuroCup season. This is episode 23, and we are looking at the eighth finals, the preview of the four games to decide the four spots in the quarterfinals. And with me, as always, me being David Hein of Hein News, taking the charge. Substack is Marco Munno, communication specialist and collaborator with La Giornata Tipo. Marco, how are you doing?
Well, it's fine. It's fine. Hello, everybody. Let's talk about hoops with some joy on our voices.
Yeah, we're coming a day later than I had originally told you because I was actually stuck in Abu Dhabi. And if unless you've had your head stuck in the sand for the past week or so, you know what's been going on in Abu Dhabi. I was there with EuroLeague for the next gen tournament there, and yeah, thank you. Huge shout out to the people at EuroLeague, especially Rock Bizjak, for getting the teams and us staff out of there. Very massive task. Not easy trying to find flights, everything, and clear airspace. But so that is why we're a day late. But I thank you for giving me for that one. So eighth finals, we've reached the playoffs. We're back at basketball. We had some national team basketball, but we are in the eighth finals. These games will be played on Tuesday. Actually, they're all going to be played on what is it, Tuesday? No, it's actually on Wednesday, right? They're all on Wednesday. All four games will be on Wednesday, which kind of actually that's kind of that's unfortunate, you know, because there's an 1800 tip off, two 1900, and a 20-hour tip off. So you're gonna have to like watch them delayed or not. Hopefully, maybe I'll tell this to the announcers. Don't say what's going on in the other games. Good one, right? I'll write that down. I will write that down. Announcers, no spoilers. Okay, so March, Wednesday, March 11th. Then single game quarterfinals are then Tuesday, March 17th and Wednesday, March 18th. I don't know if they will be scheduled only for the March 18th or 17th. I don't know, but those are the 2 days scheduled for the one-off single game quarterfinals. Okay, let's jump in. We're going to talk about all of the games, and we're going to start with the first one that tips off, and that is Turk Telekom Ankara against Manresa. The winner of this game will play at Jerusalem. Whether that is actually in Israel depends to be seen. Obviously, we have a Turkey Israel possibility. Whether or not Israel actually play games at home, that will be decided next week. But the winner of this game does play against Jerusalem in a road game. Um, Turk Telekom have lost three of the last four games before the break. They will play at Galatasaray this weekend. Manresa have lost three of the last five games before the break. They host Tenerife this weekend. I kind of looked through some stats and some other stuff. So go ahead and give me your breakdown of what you think about this game. And then, maybe some important people, whatever, and then give me a pick.
Well,
Manresa at Turk Telekom.
I think this is the match that most likely can end with away win. I believe so much in Maresa and watching how they finish the regular season. I think you can see that okay, Maresa had lost against Venice, talking about teams that are more or less on the same playoff level, but they reached the playoff basically winning all the important games that they had to win because they had their stretch in which they beat Başakşehir, in which they beat Neptunas while Neptunas was still on the playoff race by one. They beat Cluj by two. So I think if the game will go on and to be on the edge between the two teams, I think Manresa has proved already that they can win this kind of games. Instead, if I see about Turk Telekom, I think that they can struggle in that situations in which they are more or less on the same level of the team of the opponents. I mean, if you look at Besiktas, they lost by 10 in February, or if you look at Buducnost, they lost by 10 at the 30th of December. If you look at the match before against Berg, they lost by 4. So I think when they're against a team that on paper is less equipped, they are really able to establish like themselves to show their strength. But when they are in the in the so and so situation, I think Maresa in its way has already proven their value and its value, and also it happened in the last stretch of the regular season, because if you look at the beginning, you can see really some different teams. Instead, Maresa changes their roster along the way, and I think it's more competitive that it was at the beginning, and the final standings show that. So I'm going maybe a bit surprisingly with Maresa.
S- Um, that's a surprise for me. So first of all, Turk Telekom, number one in 2-point field goal percentage. They're shooting over 59%. They are first in defense, only 75.1 points per game, and they create the most turnovers on defense. They force more than 16 turnovers per game. Manresa, on the other hand, they do score quite a bit. They rank fifth overall in scoring at 90.2 points. So, I mean, it is an offense that goes, but it is an offense against defense show game. Speaking for Manresa, they are the second best offensive rebound team in the league at 13.2. Those extra possessions against a strong defensive team are massively important, and they're number one ranked in free throw percentage at 80%. Defensively, they're 15th. They give up a lot of points, and they allow opponents to shoot three-pointers pretty well, 36%, 15th ranked. Turk Telekom is not a monster at home. They're 6-3. Manresa, on the other hand, is 4-5 on the road. So in these type of games, it's gonna come down to big time players, and I think the big time experience of these players from Turk Telekom that have been in this situation before. The coach has been in this situation before. My question is, what can guys like Ellie Brooks and Augustine Ubal, what can they do to help Ratin Obasan? Obasan will be there. The question is, what do guys like Brooks, Ubal, um, uh, what's his name? The Spanish veteran who came late in the season. Uh,
Oriola.
yeah, Oyola.
Oriola.
He's gonna be there as well. I think that the experience, especially the big game experience, is going to outweigh Manresa, and so I'm going with Turk Telekom. So next game, Buducnost at Cluj. The winner of this will play at Bajasir in the next game. A note I mentioned last time we were on the show, Buducnost and Cluj will actually play 4 days after this game, but we don't have that game yet. So Buducnost, they lost their last two ABA League games before the break. They host Igokea this weekend. Cluj have won their last 5 games, and they face Crvena Zvezda, EuroLeague team, this weekend in the ABA League. I'll start on this one. So Buducnost is 8-1 at home. Cluj only 3-6 on the road. Buducnost, a decent scoring team at 89.36 best. They are only grabbing 10.1 offensive rebounds. That's 17th, but they are the best three-point shooting team in the league at 41.2%. Defensively, solid at 81.8, sixth ranked. allow opposing teams to shoot 36% on threes, which is 16th ranked. We all know about the offense of Cluj. 96.4, number one. They are third in 2-point percentage at nearly 59%, and they're been shooting better than 36% on threes. So they shoot better than so Buducnost allows teams to shoot threes, and Cluj shoots threes well. Cluj also don't play much defense. 17th rank, almost 94 points a game. They also give up monster offensive rebounds, 19th, second worst in the league. They do create turnovers, almost 15 a game, third ranked. My question on this one, can Yogi Ferrell, Rashid Suleiman, can they slow down Fats Russell and Molinar? Will Creek have another big game like he's been all season? Will Cluj play their game, or can Buducnost kind of slow this thing down? And can Dusan Militic hurt the low post of Buducnost enough? I think those questions will all be answered in favor of Cluj. I have Cluj winning a road game, despite the Buducnost strength at home. What say you?
Oh well, instead I'm going not strongly, but quite strongly on Buducnost because I think the difference between offensive and defense is too much for Cluj. I think everybody will wait for a game with a lot of points scored. But if Buducnost is kind of sixth on points scored, but has a good defense, and they're strengthened by the home factor because they're playing home. They got all the crowd, and the record on the regular season show that, and they're also able to be solid when it happens to shooting about 3 points, in which they're first, but also in 2 points. They're in 2 point percentage. They are sixth. No, they are fifth. So I think they can really hurt the defense of the other team in the average situation. But when it happens against Cluj, Cluj have to overcome their weakness about defense, and I don't know if they will be able when in one thing that they struggle all the season, because I think yeah they can score, but if you go about the only who scored the most, I think there the home factor will really punish them and be good for Buducnost. I don't know if Cluj will be able to slow down instead Buducnost and their kind of fury that they can provide when they're at home. So I don't think so, and because Buducnost can punish more than it can be more than the average, because I don't know, they had like top five and in 2 point percentage, first in 3 point percentage. So um, they got really a lot of points to score on their own, and so because of that, I'm going to Buducnost with
Okay,
Buducnost.
fair enough. Fair enough. Cedevita against Chemnitz. The winner of this game then faces Borg in France. Cedevita have not played since their last EuroCup game against Glask. They're scheduled to host Dubai this weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but I imagine Dubai, all of their team is out of UAE, so that should be taking place. But just wanted to throw it out there. Chemnitz, they won their last two BBL games and four of their last five games. And I forgot to see who they play this weekend. But that's not really super important. Actually, this week, actually, to tell you the truth, and this I know you probably don't realize this, but it could have an actual impact. One second, let me just check because this could actually have a big impact. Should be plan. Yes. So No, no. Okay, so they're only doing one because this is actually a double round weekend in Germany. There's two rounds, one on Friday and then one on Sunday, I think. There's two rounds of games, but they only play Friday. They play at Würzburg. So that is it's not too that would have been massive disadvantage. So I will let you start so basically Cedevita 6-3 at home and Chemnitz 3-6 on the road. I'll let you go.
Yes, when we talked along the season about Chemnitz, we always talked about the fact that they got a good starting five, but they can struggle on the bench. Instead, about Cedevita, we basically had maybe their best player coming from the bench. Yes, that's an extreme example, but I think you can see the matchup in with that view. So Cedevita is very longer with the rotation against Chemnitz. So if Chemnitz is able to stand with the same 5 6 men all the game, they can really put up a win. But I think it's unlikely. Also, if they in their domestic league they got also an extra effort to give. So I'm going with Cedevita basically because they got more guys that it translates to more energy for the entire game.
So Cedevita, just come. I want to throw some stats out there. Cedevita first, commit the fewest turnovers, 10.6 per game. They grab the fourth most offensive rebounds at 12.5 per game. Defensively, they are ranked third, 78.5 points. They allow the fewest offensive rebounds and create the second most turnovers at 15.3. Um, Chemnitz 17th in scoring, 81 points. They shoot only 32% at 16th from long range. They're okay defensively at under 82 points, fifth best, but they do stop the 3-point ball at only 32%, which is the third best in the league. My question is, can Kevin Yebo, Amadou Sow, can they do enough in the low post to hurt Cedevita? That's where they're gonna have to be. That's where they're gonna have to beat Cedevita because Cedevita clearly has the guard spots an advantage. And then you take all that experience against a Chemnitz team that, man, I mean, there's who on this team really has experience. Um, so for me, pretty clear. This is probably the clearest one in there, Cedevita. So, um, all right. The Italian Derby, winner of Reyer and Trento. They play at Besiktas then next week. Trento did win at home back in mid-December, 96-90. Reyer lost to Reggio Emilia in the league after 5 straight wins in all competitions. They play at Treviso this weekend. Trento lost at Cantu before the break after 6 wins in the last 7 games, and they host Sassari this weekend. Um, just like we had Buducnost at 8-1, we also have an 8-1 Reyer team at home. Trento 6-3 on the road. Um, Reyer, so much more experience, so many more, let's say, established weapons against Devontae Jones and the kids. And I say kids because you have those first-time rookies, professional rookies in Europe, and you have the teenagers. Devontae Jones is a monster. Do you really want to bet against Devontae Jones? Yes. I don't want to bet against Devontae Jones, but um, I'm going to go against Devontae Jones, especially because Reyer, I think they just have too much. And again, we talked about it before. If those guys, all those guys like Nikolic and Candy and all those other guys that came off the bench, Weedle and stuff like that. Those guys, when they had the injuries to Parks and Bowman, those guys gained super valuable experience of scoring in games when they count, because Reyer had to fight to get to where they are. And so that experience is going to really come in handy because of their depth. And I mean, for me, sure, Cedevita's number one as far as like convincing win or easy choice. But Reyer is then for me a second option, second best, second clearest predicted winner. Your thoughts, Mr. Italia?
Yeah, well, I think you can see the matchup against those two teams, not only in terms of the way that they had in EuroCup, but also how much they fare in Italy, because basically it will be kind of like another regular season game between those two, and they already met into the regular season in the Italian First League, and surprisingly, Trento won at home in a high scoring game, 96 to 90. And alongside Devante Jones, there was the steward that scored 19 points. But I think in Italy is so strong, and also in Europe, and I think it can translate is the home factor. I mean, when Venice plays home, has already some advantage, and it adds to their experience, because as we see, Trento also in Europe was like playing on inconscience. Like, if they don't think too much and the odds are not in their favor, they can try to play without nothing to lose, basically. But I think in this way, playing at Venice home against a very experienced team, I think it's too hard to overcome Venice. So I'm going also with Venice, that is also so able to use all the energies that they got, because along the whole season we saw a lot of people from the bench making a difference, and the experience factor compared to the young guys of Trento can really be the factor that would give Venice probably a win.
Not probably. Yeah,
So,
I agree. I agree. I mean, I just think I mean, unless Devante Jones just goes absolutely crazy, but I just think that that's not gonna, whatever he produces, I don't think it's gonna be enough, because I think those veteran guys are gonna be too strong for those kids. Great run, but I think it's gonna be ending after just one game in the playoffs. All right. Anything else we want to talk about? I don't think so. I think we can kind of leave it at that. Like we said, eighth finals games, those are all on Wednesday, March 11th. And we will have a wrap up of that next week. And Marco, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media, etc.
well, you can find me basically on any social media, but mostly on X as Marco A. Munno, Munno.
And I'm at Hein News, HEINNEWS, HEINNEWS. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to contact us in the show notes. There's the email address, highnews@gmx.de is the easiest way to catch us, or you can message us on Twitter. Thank you everybody. Talk to you next week. Enjoy the eighth finals. Couple of good matchups, and Marco and I have two games that we are disputing. So somebody will be right at least once. Maybe somebody will have taken down the other one in two occasions. We'll have to see. Thanks everybody. Talk to you next week.